Hey guys, it's Miss Vinny with Imperialism, flip video 2, and we're still explaining the causes of the American imperialism in the late 19th and early 20th century and evaluate the effects of it and what were the causes and or the benefits and consequences of America becoming an imperialistic nation. So we had just wrapped up talking about the Spanish-American War and how it was started. And so these pictures show that Spanish oppression of the Cuban people triggered a rebellion that earned the sympathy of many Americans, and a lot of this was through yellow journalism. And America began providing arms and money to the rebels. And then, like I said earlier, yellow journalism appeared through dramatic and emotional stories that weren't always necessarily true, but got people to support the war. And we also discussed the Maine explosion and how President McKinley sent the battleship Maine to Cuba to help Americans evacuate, and it exploded at dock. They blamed the Spanish, but later on they found out that it was not Spain's fault. Okay, and this shows you that basically all of these things with yellow journalism showing that the Spanish were treating the Cubans terribly. Well, really, America had investments in Cuba and sugar and other agriculture, and that might be a reason why American business leaders wanted Spain out of Cuba. So economic interest did have something to do with it. So to start the war, you see that the U.S. attacked Manila Bay in the Philippines, which was Spanish territory. So they decided to attack elsewhere just to kind of make, it's like a sneak attack, to try to throw them off, and the U.S. and the Filipino forces quickly defeated the Spanish. So the Philippines, this is how you say Philippines, and then this is how you would talk about people from Philippines, Filipino. So the war in Cuba, it's somewhat fierce. Teddy Roosevelt leads a group of volunteers called the Rough Riders in the Battle of San Juan Hill. It was a very difficult battle and very unsanitary conditions. Rough Riders play a small part, but Roosevelt gets famous, and that's where he's wearing that famous traditional outfit. In the end, Spain grants Cuba its independence. But the U.S. gets the rest of the Spanish territories. They get the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Guam. And this is also, the U.S. also places the Platt Amendment, which gives the U.S. a permanent base in Cuba. And that is Guantanamo Bay. And that was from the Treaty of Paris. Okay? So these are some of the conditions. If you look at all the checked ones, these are all the checked ones give what the Platt Amendment does for Cubans. Okay? So then moving on, after that, the Filipinos helped America get Spain out of the Philippines, but they were outraged because the U.S. did not grant them independence. And this war lasted for 3 years. So the Filipinos help America, and then they fight against America when America does not give them their freedom. And then this is also going to lead to us, like I said, we were majorly in the Pacific. This is going to lead to us being involved in China. So we have the spheres of influence. European nations had divided up China for trading purposes. So a lot of the Western world is starting to get involved in China, and they split it up, and they kind of take advantage of it. So the only country that wasn't involved with this was was the United States. So the Secretary of State decided, hey, America needs a piece of this China pie. Okay, so they called for open access to all China's coastal ports. They eliminated special privileges for any trading nations, and they maintained that China would stay independent. So America is saying, we will help you, China, and we will take care of you, but also obviously they want to use China's resources. This is going to lead to the Boxer Rebellion, which is an attempt by a group of Chinese known as the Boxers, in which they try to expel all Western influence from China. And this is in response to the open door policy. This was put down by joint Western forces. And this is some pictures from the Boxer Rebellion. Okay, so 3 American beliefs reflected in the open door policy. 1, that the growth of American economy depended on exports. So that's a reason why they go for the open door policy. 2, America had the right to intervene abroad to keep foreign markets open. Now these are American beliefs, remember that. And 3, a fear that closing of an area to American products, citizens, or ideas threatened U.S. survival. So these are their backup reasons for why they're being imperialistic, and also the open door policy. So this leads to America as a great world power. So we have the Great White Fleet, which was implemented by Teddy Roosevelt. And this is a new all-steel fleet of a dozen or so ships that Teddy Roosevelt sent around the world to show U.S. dominance. They were painted white to show power. And he just basically started them here. And then he just sailed them all over the world to show that America was powerful. All right, so we have 3 different types of diplomacy. So we have Roosevelt, who does gunboat diplomacy. So Roosevelt and gunboat diplomacy. This is how you use force to accomplish goals in the world, and he used it especially in Latin America. And his quote was, "Speak softly and carry a big stick, you will go far." So we'll kind of discuss that more in class as we review. Taft in Latin America, William Howard Taft believed in dollar diplomacy. Instead of using force, he used money, investing money into a country to help strengthen that country's economy in hopes of preventing revolutions. So by investing money, though, it normally meant U.S. corporations would get the money. And then finally, we had Wilson and his diplomacy, and his was moral diplomacy. He was not about imperialism, guys. He didn't like it that much. And his philosophy was basically to extend moral standards. So Wilson told the world that the U.S. will never take any more policies, and Wilson did send in troops to stop revolutions, but he was not about going in and taking over things. So he was a non-imperialist president. All right, guys, that's it for today. Hope you have a great day. And this is the last video for fall till fall break. Woohoo! See you later.